You are listening to the Backline podcast.
I'm Trey. This is Tristan. And you're listening to the Backline podcast. What's going on, Twitch?
What's up, Twitch?
Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we missed the Wednesday stream. The past 2 weeks we did. But tonight we got a special guest for you in stream. We got Justin from the Trembling Giant, a.k.a. the Trembling Giant.
Hello, world.
How's your Friday been so far, Justin?
It's been good. Worked and then drove here. My MapQuest or Google Maps took me on a path that went through some super tiny, beautiful back roads. It led me to a farm that I thought was your guys' farm, which was not. It's like you got to the spot and it's like that, like the little dots showing you need to like walk, and it's just into the middle of a field. And I'm like, okay. And that's why I had to call you, Trey. I was like,
this can't be right.
That's the secret passage.
I didn't come from the highway, so I didn't see any dirt bike jumps. I'm like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I sure hope I'm close.
So did it lead you down that road the whole way, or did it?
Honestly, it was a series of tiny roads and turns that was beautiful. I could never recreate the path that I took to get here.
Point A to point B.
I've gotten to the point where it's just like, I just trust my phone. I'm like, hey, got it up on my little holder and it tells me to turn and I turn. It's like Michael Scott. If I was directed into a lake, I would turn into a lake.
Yes.
And so that was today. I was like, okay, well, this is a farm. I mean, maybe their studio's in the barn. I don't know.
No,
fair enough.
We're glad you made it here,
Yeah.
man. The GPS seems to do that to everybody who comes
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
Our neighbor's probably like, nah, he just knows right away. He's like, you missed the turn. So
Should just put a sign in his yard that says, "This is not this house."
That way. It's down the hill.
yeah. So I actually met Justin down at a local venue on one of their Thirsty Thursday acoustic nights. Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, shout out
Shout
Goodfellas. You know what we think of you.
Fantastic spot.
Absolutely. That's home base for us. So yeah, I was down there and really enjoyed what Justin was doing. To me, it's like a folk punk. And then you had some covers in there that obviously killed. They were awesome. But yeah, it was a very punky flavor. So if somebody were to ask you to describe the Trembling Giant, what would you tell them?
Well, so I had never heard of the term folk punk. I played an open mic at the Main Street Cabaret in Madison. It's a cool little spot. And after I played, someone had came up and said, oh yeah, you got that like real cool folk punk sound, and like it's that's a term, that's a thing. And I was oh shit, like that is a good way to describe my music. Yeah. I've kind of shifted a little bit also because usually punk is cut time, and I don't do a lot of cut time, and so it's either like folk punk or folk grunge. Like
alternative stuff like that.
Yeah. So like not a ton of cut time, but yeah, definitely singer songwriter with more of like influences of music when I was a kid, like Green Day.
Yes,
for sure.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, that, like I said, when I got a total like 90s grungy alternative vibe when I came down to see ya, and it was I was texting him the next day. I'm like, dude, you should have fucking been there.
Yeah.
But I think it was shitty out that night or something. But anyways, so that's where we met, and it's just awesome, that it's cool that we got our start at Goodfellas, and we continue to go back there, and now Jason's got other awesome musicians coming in, and he's just keeping it rolling, and then we connect. It's like just
it's a networking
awesome
thing too, right?
Serendipitous.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were talking a little bit before we kicked on live, but Justin, how did you what got you into music?
So my dad is a musician. He's fantastic. He does classic rock covers. He plays a 12-string guitar, super talented with the drum machine that he uses. So it's fantastic. I mean, that's good. His voice is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. So he's really good. but that's not what got me into music. Like, I tried to learn guitar from him, but I was like a disgruntled preteen, and he tried to show me chords like, this is a C chord, this is a G chord, and I was like, I know power chords. And I was like,
Yes.
brah, get that out of there. This is not how I play a Green Day song. And so what really got me into playing music, it's kind of maybe a little cliche, but my brother was in a band, and he was in a band when he was a freshman in high school, and he had thrown some parties, and he had junior and senior girls coming over.
Oh,
And I was like,
shit.
oh, he's not cool enough to pull that just just on his own, man. There's got to be something about playing music
Impress
that
the
gets
girls.
that gets something in. But since then, it's grown a lot more. It's more of a kind of a release for me, but like a way to just kind of get things out of my head. But at that time, as a 7th grader, I was like, okay, I need to learn to play an instrument.
There's the motivation.
Here's an
right?
avenue. Yeah. No, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, yeah, for sure.
So you said 7th, 8th grade. I don't even think we were in. Wow, we
were
might have
doing
dabbled in it.
traditional. We were doing traditional music, which was like school band. Did you ever do school band, or was it more
I
just on your own?
Did, but I was in percussion, so like I can't read sheet music, like. But I mean, you guys are thumbing dude, like everyone knew that the percussion group was the coolest kid.
Yeah, they were.
yeah.
Everyone
They
wanted
were.
to be in percussion.
Yeah, I was a
All-
trumpeter.
All
so
these other, I'm in the back being like, well, and then once it switched over to getting closer, where you have to start kind of learn to do kit and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like I'm like, nope, can't do it. I can bang on a snare drum. I could do some castanets, timpanis. Oh man, I crushed some timpanis.
Yeah.
But when it got beyond that point, I was like, nope, I'm not a drummer. My parents even bought me a drum set, like this, like just cheap, like, but they're drums, so it's still probably like $500 or $600.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair
yeah.
enough.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? But like it's just shitty drum set. And then so I had that for a while. My brother's band wound up taking it, and then their drummer who didn't even know he was a drummer, he wanted to be the singer, wound up becoming their drummer because he could just drum.
just good at it.
And they wound up like setting my floor tom on fire at one of their shows. And
As
like
you do.
kicking it off the
my
stage, and I was like, "Dude, I don't drum, but I could have sold that.
Yeah, that was
Like,
mine.
Oh,
that's like
God.
that's money right there."
That is a cool. We're gonna have to do that with one of yours.
Oh, not this old thing. I
No.
can take my old kit.
no,
maybe
that's
not. That one's kind of a relic.
You get like just like cheap, like you spend like $20 on a floor tom, and
I'll
you
find
use it for like 2 songs, and then you just fucking.
Facebook Marketplace. Here I
Yeah.
come.
scroll
fair
in the
enough.
depths of Facebook
Damn.
Marketplace.
The sacrificial Tom from the old OG kit.
Dude. And at the time I was like, yeah, because they were like this punk band.
That was
we were having a
cool.
great time. But then
Reality hit.
it was like, oh wait, no,
That was technically
that's
mine.
I don't use it ever, and I'm terrible at it. But that belongs to me.
Oh man,
No.
no, that's I can't give you shit for playing percussion. We were both in high school band, but it was because we had to be.
Oh, you
Yeah.
were,
You needed that credit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a trumpeter and I was awful at it, and then I switched to percussion and I was bad at it.
You were okay.
And then my teacher at the time let me play bass, and I'm like, sweet. And he gives me this sheet music, and I'm like, can you tab it out for me?
So you started on bass?
No, so here's the wild thing, man.
This was after you were already playing guitar.
This is after I was
okay.
playing guitar, but for the school band, that's the best they could give me is like, you can play bass. And I'm like, sweet, but I need tab.
great. And it was not a good bass guitar.
It was like terrible.
you know,
But
just,
no, it's funny that you say that because I actually started on drums and he started on guitar.
Oh,
And then we did a flip.
I had a guitar.
my, how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
What's Michael Scott say? Turntables have.
I don't think that's correct, but
That's
close
what he
enough.
says.
Is
He
that
says the turntables have, and then he just walks away.
All right.
So no, that's cool.
Yeah.
My wife is really going to appreciate Office references during this.
All right.
She is a
Shout out.
Wild. Office.
So am I.
Me too as well. But like, she's the one we go to. We've taken second place at Office Trivia once, and I don't know if you've ever been to Office Trivia, but people there are fucking insane.
It's like competitive.
Sorry, I don't have to I can drop
You can
F-bombs.
swear. Yeah. Who
I
gives a
figure
fuck?
it's just the internet, you know.
Dude.
The FCC is not going to be coming after us for this, but like there were ones where I'm like, dude, what? But I contributed. The one time we took second place was the order of the images at the beginning of the episode, like the copier, the water cooler, like all that
how
stuff.
they do the.
And it's like it was like the final like big like thing. You bet on it and you put them. You can get them in order, you know, and. My weird brain was just like, yep, I know them. This is the order that they're in.
This is the easiest question.
I don't remember any of the other things.
Dude,
I'm here for this
sometime
question.
we need to do an office trivia in between because I am an office fiend. I remember I watched all the seasons probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay, good.
Full.
So now we have a team now, because that's the thing. Like normally you go there and they're like the tables are like full of like 8 people on a team, and it was just me and Emily, and we're like, all right, we got this.
Hit me up.
I'm like, babe, you got this. You know Office. Why?
Oh, hit me up,
I'm
man.
here. Yeah.
Sweet.
No.
I love The Office.
Yeah, there was a
We'll
stint.
probably have to go into Madison for that, but
Hey,
we'll definitely
yeah.
make
We'll
the
make
trip.
it.
Make
Yeah.
the trip.
I'll drag him up there. Yeah, there was a stint where every time I came over to your house, no matter what it was, The Office was just on.
Oh yeah, that was the same at our house. It's like just background.
Yeah.
Like
What episode is it? You know,
I hope
it's-
my wife is upstairs listening because, yes.
she got tired of it, reasonably so.
No. You
you just
can't.
kind of shift
No.
over to something. Well, the thing that happened, it was it's no longer available on Netflix. You got
Yeah,
it
right.
Peacock, and like I'm like I don't.
Yeah,
I, mean,
I don't want to
even,
switch.
I don't even pay for Netflix, but like I'm not paying for another thing.
No,
Yeah, we
fair
were
enough.
doing it on Netflix, and then, well, we've got we're bumming. Hopefully, DirecTV's not listening, but we're bumming DirecTV from my in-laws,
Dude, they're
and they've
coming.
got a
They got
comedy.
their bots.
They're
they
coming
got,
now.
They got their spiders scrolling the internet, being like, "Nope, that just got said on this Twitch stream. We're coming for you."
Terminate the
You
access.
hear
This
like you hear like
small-
helicopters like.
Yeah. They just come down and take the satellite dish.
This small local band is streaming in this town of 800, and they're bumming DirecTV.
That's it.
Man.
Game over.
Shut down the stream.
I guess speaking of like consuming media, what were your top bands growing up around that age when you were starting
Oh, I
music?
don't-
Like
Oh man!
I mean, you said
so-
Green Day, so that's kind of a giveaway there.
Top 5,
Yeah.
if you got 5.
Man, probably like Thrice, Thursday, Taking Back Sunday. Like those were my high school years. Like that was I would drive because I lived in Hayward, Wisconsin at the time, and
Oh,
so like we'd
nice.
had to drive to Minneapolis, which is a couple-hour drive to see
Yep.
shows, and so we would. I mean, I went to way more shows than I would expect to, having to travel that far. But we would get in a car, me and some friends, and we would just road trip to Minneapolis, and then we go to shows, and then we come back. And
Same
we
night.
would oh yeah because we weren't 21
No,
yet, you
yeah,
know. I mean,
it's-
obviously, well, I mean, we may have had some beverages on the way there, you know.
Right. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Not 21 yet,
happens.
but you know. But yeah, then it would be like Monsters or Red Bulls and drive all the way back
Yeah.
after shows.
Yeah.
All sweaty, just like
Yeah.
completely like drenched through your t-shirt. Because I was the kind of person who was like, okay, I'm gonna get close to the front.
Yeah, we got to make some stuff happen.
And I
yeah.
feel like an asshole because I'm really tall, but at the same time, I'm just like, hey.
Can't help it.
I want to be up there. Like, I was the kind of person, like, if a short person behind me, maybe a girl, was like, I can't see. I'm like, okay, you can go in front of me.
Yeah.
But if no one asks, I'd be like, dude, I'm getting up there. You're going to see me at the front.
Yeah. Swim through the mosh pit and
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, man, what is it? The Warehouse in La Crosse. You guys ever seen any shows there?
No, we were booked there once and it got canceled, but
Yeah. So I saw My Chemical Romance after their first album.
oh,
there.
that had to be
Oh.
killer.
And there's no railing between you and the stage.
yeah.
And their stage is like as high as this table here
Oh,
at most.
jeez.
And so it's below where my knees are at. And so I kept getting like shoved onto the stage. And at one point of the show, man, what's his name? Gerard
singer.
grabs my shirt, and because he's not really tall and I'm really tall, like we're almost like when he's looked like it was close, like right in my face. I was like, dude, I could die now.
That's cool, man.
Me and my buddy Justin Ewert, we again, it was one of those get done with the show, super sweaty, get into my car, take a bunch of Red Bulls and Monsters, and take them.
Yeah, right.
And then drive several hours home. It was wild.
Oh man.
To see MCR in their heyday would have been just.
Well, I used to think they're actual vampires, because that first album has that like
That's fair.
eeriness to it,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if he just never gets any sun or he's just kind of really
He's pretty
pale,
pasty. Yeah.
very pale.
I still remember seeing on Fuse the music video for Helena, and it's about his grandma, and he's got this. He's all vampire looking and dressed in a suit and tie. I'm like,
dude, that guy.
But my big album for them was Black Parade.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
and so that was a little after when I was really big into them. But you know, like, man, they are, I guess, they're awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
they're
some of my
awesome.
best experience. I've seen them a couple times, and very, very good live.
Yeah.
Probably the best band I've ever seen live, though, is in like more kind of the rocky kind of genre, is Coed and Cambria. You ever
Oh,
an opportunity
really?
to see Coed and Cambria? They are fantastic. Live.
Yeah.
Trying to think. We've not seen them. We've gone to a lot of shows. Gojira was amazing live.
Yeah, that's more on the metal side of things back when they were doing Sonic Boom.
See,
in
and I
Janesville.
never really got into metal. Like my longtime, one of my best friends, Adam, longtime guitarist in bands I've been in since high school. He was always like the big metal guy, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I get how like technical it is, but I'm never in a spot where I'm like sitting down. I'm like, I want to listen to some metal.
Yeah.
I'm just never like,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yep.
So my thing with metal, and this is where Tristan and I differ. I like the metal where it's like dun 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 dun, you know, simple riffs, and I'm
Slammy.
like, I love it. Like
Plot in You is
the plot in you,
your guilty pleasure right
but
now.
like the technical metal, nah, I don't want to listen to
Yeah.
that. So
I understand what you mean though, where you have to like, it's a mood thing, right? And if you're not like into making or like really listening to metal, you can't sit down and listen to it unless you're like working out or something. You know what I mean? It's got to be a mood. I totally get that. Like, contrast to what Trey was saying, I do listen to what you listen to, but I'll also mostly listen to like really hyper technical stuff because my brain, like, I need
You're
that
like,
sometimes.
oh,
Like,
man.
this needs to be ridiculously fast right now, you know? So that's this kind of stuff that I listen to. But
if you slow this down a little bit and play it on a violin, this is some serious classical shit going on. I mean, it's like, dude, like that's like, it's so weird to think about, but it's like the closest music, like technical metal is the closest music to like classical music.
just on composition.
Oh no, yeah, the
Yeah.
composition. Yeah, it's wild. It's like if you take away the distortion and do some, you know, orchestral instruments doing it, like it would be a very good orchestral piece. A
Yeah,
lot of these
right.
metal stuff.
yeah. No, for sure.
that's a good point.
That is a great point. Oh man.
Are you gonna crack that?
I
keep
suppose
looking at it.
I've been looking at. I've like picked it up once too, and I was just like, do I grab it now?
You got to give the people what it is.
You got to give them what they want.
You can't see it from here because our camera is about 3 pixels short of a. I don't even know what I was gonna follow
think
that
we
up.
lost-
I'll show it to him.
Yeah, get it up
I'll use
close.
my long arms.
It's called No Yeah. It's I don't know. I found it one day for my birthday party, and I bought a bunch of them because they're goofy. I don't even know if it's a Pilsner or whatever kind of beer it is, but it's good. It's an easy drink. Oh, it's a golden ale. It's not a Pilsner.
We lost some of our lighting too.
Did we?
Yeah.
What can I do about that, huh?
I'm just gonna roll.
Yeah,
roll.
I could always move the lamp closer if need be. That's live, baby. All right, let's see how this is.
Let the people know.
I mean, it's really sharp. It's a sharp beer, like it bites you. But yeah, it's just a golden ale. It's like a not mild golden ale, but it's easy drinking. There's golden ales that just taste like water. This isn't it.
That's a IPA meets golden ale.
Yeah, kind of. Exactly. You got it. But yeah,
So, do you just play guitar and sing, or do you play other instruments? I mean, we talked percussion and stuff back when you were in.
Yeah, I don't take credit for playing percussion. You know, I mean, I started on bass because
Nice.
that's the instrument my brother played. So I
Uh,
was able to get a hand-me-down bass from him.
Yeah.
And then started playing guitar, self-taught, which again is crazy because my dad's like, I'm gonna teach you to play guitar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Okay.
And then I've had keyboards before, but like more of just like putting like little like plunky stuff into, you
Yeah.
know, like it's that's an instrument that like just like you can just mess around on it.
Yeah.
Make
sounds
it sound good,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's like everything is set up in a good order.
Mm.
yeah.
No, for sure. I guess when you say self-taught, was it self-taught as in you listen to songs and you play along with them, or is it self-taught as in like you learned about the dynamics of the guitar, like read up on it at all?
Oh yeah, so I know like I don't know any
No
music
theory or
Yeah,
anything?
my dad tried to show me the circle of fifths
Yep.
and all that stuff. And
Yep.
Sure.
again, I mean, I guess if it it was just the wrong time for that. I was like, no,
Yeah.
raising teenager. No, you can't tell me how to play guitar. I like punk,
Bar
It's-
chords, power
dude.
chords,
Power
baby.
chords, bar chords. And
Drop
so, like,
D.
so over time I've learned chords, but like how things go together, that's all just by ear.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
diddling around
Yep.
and just like playing around, and I've like, oh, this chord sounds good to this chord. And what I've found that like shapes, like
Yep.
chord shapes
Yep.
are what I get into, where it's like I know that this shape works with this shape, and if I move it around a little bit, I can have those shapes work together. I don't know anything about the musical theory of why that works, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, listen, absolutely. That makes total sense to me.
Same boat.
You learned a little bit. You
I
read up a little
tried
bit.
learning. I have pages and pages of notes on circle of fifths, relative minors, all that
Mhm.
shit. And then I'm just like, this is not fun.
Yeah. No,
I just want to play. I have more fun writing songs and, chugging.
yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, it's all about what you like in the end of things,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Like,
yeah.
You
And,
liked
like-
playing
like,
power chords.
Circle of fifths and stuff like that. Like, so there is math that can explain like the music I'm playing right now.
Right.
Doesn't mean I need to know the math.
That was-
Exactly. And that's cool, right?
Like, yeah, yeah. But there are people who know the math, and like for me, I guess I don't know if it's true or not. But at some point in my life, I was like I didn't learn covers at all for a long period of my life. I was just writing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
It's
Just
gotcha.
jamming and writing, and I had this idea in my head that like, well, if I learn more stuff, then like it's gonna like indirectly or directly influence my music. If I know stuff, like if I know this is like these two things go together, then like you just assume like that's where this should go when you're doing something.
You didn't want to follow any other band's footsteps.
Well,
You
yeah,
wanted to
you
kind of do your
know?
own thing and not fall
Yeah.
into a.
Yeah, but the more I've started to learn covers, like, oh yeah, well now I learn chords I didn't know. I was like, oh wow, this thing here, I didn't know.
Yeah.
This. Now what am I gonna do with this guy here?
Yeah.
This is a chord I didn't know existed, and now I want to play around with it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Like you just start screwing around, man, and then
Mhm.
you pick up stuff which you can. But I totally get it where it's like, I don't want to learn a riff and then like go to write a song and find that riff's in my song, right?
Yeah,
I totally get that.
Sometimes you like then learn a song, you're like, shit,
Yeah, right.
I wrote something, and it was like, it's just like this.
But I think that.
But I know for sure, I'm like, I didn't steal it because it was created independently
Right.
without me knowing that song.
yeah.
Exactly. It shouldn't stifle your creation, right? It
Yep.
should just
No.
be its
Yep.
own thing. No, for sure. That makes total sense. But-
So, what would you say is your biggest influence for a band that influences your style, how you write, how you play, if there is any? I know we just said how.
Yeah,
try
I mean,
not
to be honest, yeah, we just kind of like I don't think I've ever like you hear bands sometimes and you can tell that they're like, oh man, they sound just like this other
Yeah.
band, like for me, I mean, just the bands I listen to kind of influence what I'm doing, but like there's never been something that I've never gone into writing music being like, I'm going to write in this style of music. And like that even happened with like I was in this band in California for a couple of years called Lion Sight, and that we wound up recording an album in East Palo Alto, and it got mixed in Nashville
Oh,
at the
wow.
House of Blues studio. Yeah. And like the thing about that band is we were still trying to find our identity, but like we always went into it like any member of the band would come up with an idea, we'd kind of flush it out and we'd write a song from it.
Yeah.
And like we never wanted to be like, we play this style of music.
Yeah.
And I think that's something like when you try to say, oh yeah, I'm this type of band, you kind of limit like what you're going to be creating, because you have a preconceived idea of like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then you won't realize that, dude, like, I mean, our bass player, his name's Greg. He's fantastic. I mean, honestly, he's one of the best bass players on the planet. The dude is crazy. But yeah, he'd come up with a riff, boom, 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 and be like, okay, we would build off of that and just build a song around that riff. And it was like, you know, not really the kind of same style as the other stuff we were doing.
That's cool.
But so the idea of like trying to categorize your band, I think it's important for obviously getting people to listen to you. But I think it's tough when you try to, if you internalize that and think this is the band that we are. This is the style that we are.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You want to keep it flexible.
I loved everything about that answer, because we kind of deal with the same stuff. It's like, what are you guys? It's like, I don't know, we're hard rock metal, and then people hear us, and some people are
trying to describe sounds with words.
Yeah.
Like...
But people are like, you guys aren't heavy. You guys are heavy. You're too heavy. You're not heavy. It's like, well, we're just playing. We don't really care what you call us.
No, right.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cool. And we don't write to fit a genre either.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So one thing I got to ask, and this is a personal question that I wanted to know. How did you come up with the name?
Oh, dude, great story. All right.
Yes.
It's a great story. Okay. So I'm kind of weird. And like, when I read something or get into it, like I like go down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
I need to know, or like my wife, it annoys her, but like if we're in a conversation and something comes up that I think I might know, but I'm not sure if I know it, I have to pull out my phone and Google it and confirm that it is what I thought it was. Or if there's something that is said, like, I just don't know, I'm like, I gotta look that up. I gotta know, like, I gotta know what the best information out there about this is.
Gotta know the answer.
I gotta know, you know? And so I had read about, I had to have been 18, 19 years old. And I read about this forest in Utah, and it's a bunch of these trees that are quaking aspens. And it's got the nickname Pando, but it's also called the Trembling Giant because they're quaking aspens. And so in like I think it's like the 90s or something, don't quote me on this, but I think it's in the 90s, they did like genetic testing on all these trees in this huge grove, and they found out that they're all the same tree. They are all connected to this underground root network.
No shit.
Yeah, and then when they start doing like dating on this root network, it's like it's arguable that it's the oldest like living thing on the planet.
Gotcha.
As forest fires come through, the trees burn, but then it starts sprouting back up, and this entire like huge forest of quaking aspens is all one organism.
Oh,
gotcha.
Dude, it's wild.
So
it's called the quaking aspen, the trembling giant, and then Pando is another name for it. So I have a song that I wrote that's called Pando.
Gotcha.
And I had that name like tucked away for years.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I figured it out, as soon as I was like, dude, like this, and I looked it up, like no one has this as a band name. And so I got the Gmail for it. I got like
grabbing everything.
I got like a bunch of the stuff for it, the SoundCloud for it.
Oh
like,
yeah.
At that time, SoundCloud was like major.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of the stuff. I'm like, I'm locking this up because this is a great band name.
It's a cool name, man.
And then I also tell people, it kind of works for me as well because like I used to have like, I mean, I still do, but like really intense anxiety. And so like I was in like middle school choir and stuff. And like, whenever I'd have to have a solo, you're like standing up with everyone else and you have your like okay, you do your solo. And like, I would tremble, like my paper shaking, my feet would shake, you know, like complete, like a physiological anxiety attack. But like, I don't know, like, I just was like, well, I'm here. I'm going to do it. Speeches for speech class and stuff. Dude, same thing. And just learning how to like internalize it and be like, okay, body, don't have a physiological effect. You're feeling this right now. You're feeling it. And so it's just kind of like, I guess like maybe a immersion therapy, like playing music in front of people, writing songs and putting myself out there, being like, all right. And then that's why it's tough because like when shows go good, I feel awesome. The adrenaline rush afterwards
Yeah.
is amazing.
awesome.
Because I know like I just put my physiological systems through like a stress test.
Yeah.
Comes
You
out.
passed.
But then you have the shows that don't go good, and then you come out of that stress test and you're like, I feel terrible.
Oh.
I need to go into a hole.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, did somebody use your emoji?
Oh, that was me that used that emoji.
Oh,
You have an emoji?
oh, we've got a
We got the
couple of 'em.
emotes and whatnot that
Emotes.
you set up on the channel.
Sweet.
If you guys saw me going to Ableton, it was just that mic was catching reflections that I was here, and I just turned it off. That's all. All right. Yeah, we're running out of sunlight here. Luckily, it's not the middle of winter. We'd be in the night already.
It would be pitch black.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be sitting in the dark.
I was driving over here and be like, I'm still wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
This is sick.
I love it, man.
Oh, it's finally getting warmer outside.
But no, to go back to what you were talking about too, it's funny because people look at us and they're like, "You guys were super shy in high school, super all this," and it's like, "Well, I'm still shy as shit." It's just like when you get on stage, it's like what you're saying. It's like you got to do this, so
Yeah.
get after it.
Yeah.
So
Put on your game face.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's real. Like
it's for sure.
what were your first shows like when you finally decided you were gonna start playing out and whatnot? What did you start doing first?
So, like, I mean, when I was younger, obviously, like, I mean, I had a band in high school. We did like the school talent show,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that. And then the band that I had in California was I was 19 years old, moved out there. Our drummer, who was like best friends with our guitarist Nursey, drummer Julian. He was going to school at Chico. It's Northern California, just north of Sacramento, but it's a huge party school.
Oh, okay.
And so I moved out
nice.
there, and like, so me, Adam, Greg, and Nursey all move out there. We get this house. Julian's going to school there, and like we're playing these huge shows in these backyards, like 4 kegs, like 150
Yeah.
drunk, dumb kids, you know, like
Party shows.
college
though.
kids
Yeah.
do party shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't make like any money,
But they're fun.
but we had a fucking blast,
Yeah,
man.
I bet.
Like, felt like a rock star. And then we toured around like Northern California. Like, we played some in San Francisco. We played some in Sacramento. We had this cool show that was like in, oh man, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was like Northern California, right near the Oregon border. And it was like they were reopening this like theater, and it was sick.
Oh,
So you got the
man.
opening show on.
Yeah.
there. Oh,
It was awesome. I mean, it was a really cool time. But that was kind of most shows. Since then, you know, man, I do a lot of like open mics and stuff. And
Yeah.
I've only recently in the last like since I moved to the Madison area, really tried to kind of work on getting booked, getting out there again. I mean, for me, a lot of my music's just been like just writing. Like
Yep.
it's like just like when I was younger in high school, my brother PJ would like throw parties, and you know I'd be out there for a bit, but then I'd just go into my room and just lock the door and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
play music and
Yeah.
try to like escape the anxiety that I was feeling, you know.
Yep.
And so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been more of a kind of a release, but you know, like my family, when I'm around my family, I got a huge family, like dude,
Yeah.
like crazy huge family. And so family parties and stuff, like, you know, they always want me to play, and you know,
Yeah.
Get your guitar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Play that Sweet Home Alabama, and
Maybe not at the family gathering.
we always
No. And so like, no, but I actually don't play covers. Like usually on the family,
gotcha.
like, they actually like appreciate and like my original music,
good.
which
That's
is
a
really,
cool
which is
ass
really
family.
awesome.
Yeah, because usually we'll get the. Oh, do you know Johnny Cash? I love Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But do you know
Yeah.
more Johnny Cash?
To be
Yeah.
fair, not
Well,
at the family
And,
gathering.
and to be honest, if they need someone to play the cover, my dad has that covered in,
He's
got-
in
yeah.
spades, man.
He's
Like,
got
he
the covers
crushes it,
covered.
dude. I mean, he knows so many songs.
yeah.
Like
Just a
hundreds
jukebox
and
of a
hundreds. Like
man.
it's one of those where like, and like it's crazy when you see him, like someone like requests a song that he hasn't. He's like, oh yeah, I haven't played that in a couple years, and he like you see the gears move.
He's hearing
and,
it.
and you see him like do like 3 strums of chords, and all of a sudden, boom, he jumps into it and he plays it like he plays it like the way I play a cover that I've practiced for like the last like 2 months.
Man,
That's awesome.
Every single day trying to practice, like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Just boom, jumps into it. Man,
Just got a brain
crazy.
for it, huh?
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That makes total sense, but well, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a gift. It's a
Oh,
talent.
yeah.
It is a gift.
No, for sure. Have you? So now it sounds like you're getting into more open mics and you're trying to book for yourself. I don't handle the booking for us. That's mostly you.
Yeah.
When you're booking shows and whatnot, are you running into any like blockers when it comes to that, like trying to get into places, or is it mostly just that maybe you're not putting all your feelers out there for things, or
Yeah, so I probably
What's
am
your
not. I'm
strategy?
probably not putting my feelers out enough. When I like to I reach out to musicians that I play with. Like after talking to you, I was like, what
Yeah.
places can I reach out to?
Yeah.
I put feelers out, to a couple of those spots, like a couple of spots in Monroe. Like one person was like, do you have a drum? Like, do you have any percussion? And I think that's probably my biggest roadblock right now
Is that true?
is that I don't have percussion. So they're like, well, solo musicians without percussion, it's not really kind of bar vibey enough.
Yeah, I get that.
Like the drums make people move. So I think that's been part of like the struggles I've had booking, but like it's starting to get some traction. I've had some places. I play at Cargo Coffee in Madison a bunch, man.
Yeah.
That's like my home away from home. Like they have me there like every other month.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. It's such a great spot. The sound is good. The people are really nice. But trying to get into different places. I don't know. I've never done this before. So I'm
Yeah,
just like
no, that's fair.
shooting emails, be like, check out my stuff,
Yeah.
Trying to make sure I post enough online of videos playing and be like, hey, this is what I sound like. This is what you can expect to see.
Yep. Having your material out there
Yep.
to give to them. No, there's no rule book for this, right? It's weird to just be like,
I'm sure there is a rule, the rule book
Right.
of booking shows.
Yeah.
Some bros try to make some money on some book like that.
yeah, right. It's like a fake
The
self-help book.
rules.
Yeah.
Of booking shows.
But
Like a YouTube.
all right. No, yeah, that's fair. I know it can be tough, and I suppose when you're a solo musician and whatnot, or a smaller like get up and whatnot, it
Mhm.
could definitely be hard to try to book out a bar or someplace that
well,
expects
you
like
get like pigeonholed a little bit,
Yeah.
like, and I get it, it'd be nice to get some drums, but this is what I'm playing right now, and it still carries, it still fills the room,
There's definitely I still feel like Madison is a good like their bar scene is less music oriented now, but I feel like coffee shops and
Oh, yeah.
whatnot are like definitely ready for that
I
kind
mean,
of stuff.
for people who write their own music, it's a great city to be by.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots that are at least open to original music, which is great. It's really tough. I mean, being someone who writes music and does a lot of original stuff, that's the hardest thing. Is that places
Selling it.
aren't wanting. You go to a bar and people are like, I'll play whatever I know. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what we got.
Yep.
Around here, we had to grow up playing covers and then writing on the backside, and then we were sneaking in originals here and there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then eventually we get in the Madison area and play nothing but originals and get wind of it locally, and they're like, well, play some of your originals, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. But yeah, this
build
area
your-
it's just crazy how different around here is.
Oh yeah.
And then you go up to Madison, it's like it's just opposite.
It's different.
Yeah.
For sure.
Depending on where you're at, because there's a lot of Madison venues that want the cherry pies and the
Yeah, they're looking for mass appeal
Stuff like
covers
that.
and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. Those aren't venues. Those are bars that were having you come play and fill time while people are
Right.
drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of that, do you have any upcoming shows?
Yeah, plug your stuff, man.
Yeah. So I'm playing 420. I'm playing at Cargo Coffee.
Gotcha.
Go-to spot.
Yeah.
What is it? May 18th. We're playing at
Oh, that's
Mad
right,
Farm
dude.
Moto.
That's gonna be
And
sweet.
so me and my wife, when we play together as a duo, we're called Holy Coyote.
Yep.
And so pretty much throughout a lot of the day between bands up there on the main stage, we're on the acoustic stage. And so we got like little like stints of like 15 minutes here and there throughout the day. And I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll just like someone play up there. We'll pop on, play 15 minutes,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the next one. Man, what do I got coming up after that? I'm having a surgery to get my deviated septum fixed in the back end of May, so there's gonna be a break of time where I'm not gonna be able to perform. But leading up to that, the Cargo Coffee and Madtown Moto, and I was like trying to book it. I was like, well, I can't. It has to be after the 18th. Talking to the doctors, like it's got to be after the 18th. And then July something. It's so far out, but we're playing at me and my wife is Holy Coyote. We're playing at Buck and Honey in Mount Horeb.
No kidding.
Yeah, we're playing there. It's a nice little spot. So there'll be some covers, bar music.
Yeah,
man.
They have you play out on the patio, so you're not inside. You play outside, which playing outside is awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to snag that date and details from you because my wife and I like to go and eat at Buck and Honey.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
It's awesome.
It's a good.
But yeah, no,
spot.
we're playing with Justin, May 18th. I just can't. When they release that schedule, I'm like, holy cow!
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are there.
Yeah, so I played there last year, and so they had me play early, and it was like no one was there, and it was actually like cold, man. It was a cold day, dude.
Yeah.
It was so cold that day. It was so cold, and so I played, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Well, we're gonna try to sneak you back in between the breakdown and setup of this other band once people are already here." So I was able to like sneak in like 3 more songs.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's a good spot. Man, honestly, it's a sweet spot. It's gonna be fun, man.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be sick.
That'll
I
be
know.
cool.
Was it Will?
Will, yep.
He goes. He asked me what we prefer for set times, and I'm like, well, we've done all sorts of late shows. I'm like, so I wouldn't mind doing an early one. He's like, done. Then I see we're on.
We got a spot for you right early. Yeah,
like 2 something. I'm like, perfect.
Yep.
But no, that'll be awesome. And chat, we've got Justin's music pinned at the top of the chat, or we did, but the Spotify link is there.
Sweet.
Go check it out. Hit up all his socials, Facebook. I think do you have your own website too or not?
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay, so Facebook,
Instagram,
Spotify, and we're
the Trembling Giant.
Yeah. Anywhere else I missed?
That's the main stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Guest
Never
appearance from
fails.
Olive. Yeah.
Never
They
fails.
know when we're streaming,
But yeah, no, the last question I gotta ask, 'cause I'm curious. Any upcoming music in the future? Any plans to do some recording?
Yeah, so I got
Sweet.
a song I'm gonna play tonight, Couch. I got that recorded. And so I'm looking to record a whole album of some of the new stuff I've been writing. It's a slow going process, trying to get studio time and trying to fit it into the monthly budget. But I got stuff I'm working on it.
Awesome.
It's sometime in the next, this year for sure, I would assume. I hope. I sure hope, but yeah, it's in the works. I have one that's totally done, which is great. I mean, I might have just released that just to get it out there.
Yeah.
Something fresh.
Yeah.
No, for sure. We'll be watching out for that. So I got a prerequisite. I haven't listened to any of your stuff.
Okay.
Forward to what you were playing earlier during sound check, right? So I'm excited to go into this blind and hear what you sound like.
You are fresh ears.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Sweet.
telling
I'll tell you exactly how you sound.
When I remember, flashback to the start of this Q&A, I remember when they got booked down at Goodfellas, Jason hit me up right away and said, dude, you got to come see these guys.
Yeah.
And I went down there and was thoroughly impressed. So chat, hold on for 10, 15 minutes, and you're going to get to see Justin from the Trembling Giant play. So, Justin, thanks so much, man, for doing this Q&A. This is going to be out on our podcast episode tomorrow. It's going to come out. We're going to chop it up tonight. It's going to be on the Backline tomorrow. We got some comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
I think that's my wife.
Yep.
Shout out.
Hi.
Thank you, guys. Hold on
Thank you.
for 10 minutes. We're going to be right back with Justin live at Mile 134 HQ.
Thank you for listening to the Backline podcast.